In this video, I'll give you a barebones overview of the mass migration of many multicelled eukaryotes leaving the water to live on land. We'll cover fungi, plants, invertebrate, and vertebrate animals. Fungi. First off the boat, or on the boat, as the case may be, were fungi, probably. The oldest fossil evidence of fungus on Earth comes from 440 million years ago, older than the fossil evidence for plant or animal life on land. Estimates based on molecular clock dating posit a significantly earlier date for the first landed fungi, however, at somewhere between 1.06 billion years ago to 760 million years ago. Plants. Next were the plants. The oldest fossil plant, Cooksonia, checks in at 420 million years ago, checking in some 20 million years after the first fungus was so kind as to drop into the record. Estimates for the first plant, based on molecular dating, provide a range between 980 and 682 million years ago. This suggests that the first plants may have preceded the first fungi, as their estimated origin dates overlap by some 220 million years. Whether fungi or plants came first is debatable. Nonetheless, fungi and plants preceded animals to land. Cooksonia, this oldest plant fossil, is just a stalk with sporangia, and the stalk itself can split. It didn't have any roots or leaves or a vascular system, or at least the early Cooksonia doesn't have a vascular system, and these would come later in plant history. Cooksonia and other early plants were also restrained to being near the water until plants had evolved seeds which would provide the constant surrounding water in dry environments for the forming fetal plant. Animals. Finally, with the land rendered more hospitable than ever by the ecosystem that preceded it, some animal forms adapted to live on land across time. The oldest fossil is that of Campicaris obanensis, a millipede who lived 425 million years ago lakeside, consuming decomposing plants. That first animal and many of the other first animals were invertebrates, in contrast to vertebrates, who get a special mention here because they're our people. From lobe-finned fish through transitional species such as Tiktaalik, which had fish-like features, fins, scales, and distinctly non-fish features such as the crocodile-like flat head, a neck, a tetrapod-like limb layout, one bone to two bones to many bones, and the webbing on its fins was reduced, allowing for more limb-fin dexterity. From Tiktaalik-like creatures, we move on to proper amphibians like Ichthyostega, who could navigate both land and water comfortably. Our ancestors and cousins, the vertebrates, had come to land. In the next video, we'll likely consider the advent of mammals, an emergent vertebrate type that led closer to me and you. You'll hear me then.